Welcome to the Jimpin' Ain't Easy channel. I'm your host Nobi. Today we're going to explore a few models of the Chaves Redencion 229 with the Lee Williams kickstop. This is actually going to sound weird, but I usually avoided the Chaves because I thought it was just another little cute knife. And then one of my knife bros showed me his on Instagram. Shout out to Tomas with Tactical Tavern on YouTube. Check out his channel. He showed me his and I was like, yo, that's a serious blade. I need to check it out. So, fast forward all the way to Blade Show this year and the situation kind of escalated. But, before we get into all of the Blade stories, let's go ahead and talk a few numbers. Here's what to expect in the numbers department from any 229. We'll get into the little differences that made these two special in a minute, but you're coming in at an overall length of 8.25 inches, blade length of 3.63, cutting edge a little under that at 3.42, blade width 1.25, blade thickness 0.16. The steel is coming in with a Bola M390. I can trust it from Riyadh. Handle length a little over 4.5, and the handle thickness a little over half an inch. I normally lean toward knives, closer to 9 inches, at least 8.75 or larger. I'm coming from the balisong side of the knife collecting world, so those knives are technically gigantic. So, my folder preference ended up being basically pocket sword. All that said, this is still technically small, but I can't call it a small knife at all. If we're talking about the 8.75, that is coming in right around the size of the Griffin. And we're not giving up too much size on that when you look at the additional thickness that comes with it. And when we have a conversation about a small knife, a very popular small knife that we all know and love, the good old pyrite, we can see it's a whole lot bigger than that. So, needless to say, it satisfies in the like a bit knife department. So, back to Blade Show. I flipped like every random Chaves at every random table until I made it over to the actual Chaves table. And as expected, if you're at the maker table, it's gonna be a little bit more bang for your buck any way you look at it. So now I met the gentleman by the name of Carlos, and he was explaining to me exactly why I need this one. And he was like, yo, you can only get this at Blade. It has the chisel grind, it has the new logo. And I was already a fan of the skull clip anyway. And I already was on board with the whole Lee Williams kickstop situation. But here's the problem. I'm a big fan of the original logo. I love the whole skeleton key. So now my love of Tontos has left me with half a Tonto. Wait a minute, is that really what I want? So that explains how really, really close together I end up with this thing right here. So these two, they end up together satisfying all of my urges. This piece is the collector piece. It has all the Blade Show exclusive stuff. It has the new logo. If you want to see a better look at the logo, it's mainly this. I had a little fun with it on a lighter before I realized Mr. Chaves already made lighters. I was going to try to negotiate a black pocket clip, because that's the only thing this bronze beauty right here needs is a black clip. And that'll downplay these black screws in the middle of the skull and still coordinate with the blade. But that's me. I like to coordinate. And I can't take the black clip off of this one. So, whenever you run into a knife like this, you end up watching a lot of knife reviews and hearing a lot of opinions. And then you have to figure out everything for yourself. So I had the rare experience of being able to get a broken in model, because this was at Blade Show and I caught it the last day of the show, so it probably has seen quite a few hands. And then within a week, I had a weak moment and ordered a brand new one, blacked out with carbon fiber. So I had a chance to compare the action side by side. And I'll admit it was really kind of night and day. You know, the action on this is literally flawless. And then I had to start calculating exactly how much mileage went into a few days at Blade Show. How many people grabbed and flipped this knife before walking off and saying, you know, maybe later, like I did on day one. And then you compare that to this one fresh out of the box. Real talk, this thing was tight. And I was a little jealous of the action on this one that was already broken in, because it was effortless. So I would say, all in all, after a month steady of flipping since Blade Show, I would put this at about 90% of the smooth action that's on the one I came out with at Blade Show. But that just goes to show exactly how many people flipped and broke this thing in for it to be moving like this, because it literally moves with no effort whatsoever. But everything is still tight. The only difference I can say is everyone knows a kickstop gets a little more jiggly at the halfway point. And on the factory model, well, factory fresh model, it hasn't broken in to vibrate as much. Still pretty quiet. But all in all, I'm not mad at either one.